Foundation of Clinical Nurse Leadership by JacquelineNarkizian. The topics covered in this presentation are interview process and mechanism, person who was interviewed and why, what was the most interesting part of the interview, what was the best questions asked and why, what was weakest questions asked and why, lessons learned during the interview process, what would I have done differently, what happens if the role is reversed and I was interviewed instead, summary and conclusion. Interview process. A great nurse leader was identified and requested to conduct the interview. Nurse leader expressed her interest, requested and asked reason of the interview. Detailed face-to-face explanations were given and the nurse leader accepted my request. Next, I have set up an appointment and agreed to meet in the nurse leader's office to conduct a 30-minute interview. I have documented all the highlights of the interview process and I have written my overall debriefing at the end of the interview. Person interviewed. The qualification of the nurse leader that I have interviewed. Female, assistant nurse manager with associate's degree in nursing, originally from Hong Kong. She has been with the hospital for over 8 years. She has a lot of experience with clinical nurse practice. She has effective communication and leadership skills, has depth knowledge of nursing practice in neuroscience and informatics. Most interesting part of this interview. Opening part of the interview process was uncomfortable. Questions and answering part was somehow not smooth. In the middle part of the interview, the process of questions and answering got much better. At the tail end of the interview process, discussions were flowing very smoothly and friendly. Most interesting part of this interview process when interviewee rejected to respond to one of the questions. Best and weak question. Best question: does your staff respect you as an influential leader in your field of practice? The answer was yes, with strong pride and confidence. Honest examples were flowing very smoothly. Weakest question: do you think your leadership style is effective? The answer was yes, but no details were provided. There was silence and uncomfortable body language was observed. Lessons learned. Lessons that I have learned for the future interviews. Need to have better control and domination of the interview process. Not start from a weak position. It is essential that prior to an interview session, one needs to have an informal discussion. If the role is reversed, I would have requested that the interviewee send me the questions ahead of time so I can think and prepare answers accordingly. Summary and conclusion. In summary, it was a very valuable experience to explore and expand my understanding by interviewing leaders who have demonstrated exceptional skills, pride, and admiration. In conclusion, the process was a vehicle to gain insight into personal and organizational leadership qualities.